I told my sister to go away. Now she is missing. It happened on a cold, rainy night in our small town. The kitchen light was on. My hands were shaking with anger. Words came out of my mouth that I could never take back. Just go, I said. I don't want you here anymore. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. Then she opened the door and walked into the rain. That was 3 days ago. I have not seen her since. You may think this is a normal family fight, but something feels wrong. Very wrong. The police are searching the streets. Neighbors are asking questions. Her phone is turned off. Her bed has not been slept in. What happened to my sister after she left our house that night? Did she run away because of my words? Or did something else happen to her? Something darker. Something I never imagined. Someone in this town knows the truth. I can feel it. But who was really behind her disappearance? Keep watching to find out. My name is Sara. I am 24 years old. My younger sister, Ellie, was always the gentle one in our family. She loved painting small flowers on old stones. She dreamed of opening her own little art shop one day. I always teased her about that dream. I called it childish. Our town is small and quiet. The houses are close together. Everyone knows everyone's business. At night, the streets are dark and silent. Only the old street lamps give any light. That evening, the kitchen smelled like burnt rice. I was tired from a long day at work. Ellie was humming softly while she washed the dishes. I remember the sound of rain hitting the window. Then our neighbor, Mr. Doerr, knocked on the door. Mr. Grant is an old man who watches everyone from his porch. He never smiles. That night, his eyes looked strange, almost worried. Ellie, he said slowly, someone was asking about you today. Ellie's hands stopped moving. Her face turned pale. Who? She whispered. Mr. Grant did not answer clearly. He just shook his head and walked away. I did not understand her fear at that moment. I was too angry about something small she had done earlier. I said cruel words instead of asking what was wrong. I still remember her eyes. They were not angry. They were scared. She grabbed her coat and walked out into the storm. I thought she would come back in 10 minutes. She never did. Now looking back, I remember one more thing. Before she left, she whispered something under her breath. I could not hear it clearly. What was she trying to tell me? The next morning, Ellie's bed was empty. Her phone was on the kitchen table, turned off. My anger from the night before turned into fear. I called her friends. No one had seen her. I walked through the wet streets, calling her name. The town felt bigger and colder than ever before. Then I remembered Mr. Grant's strange visit. Someone had been asking about Ellie. But who? And why? I knocked on his door. He opened it slowly, his face full of worry.
You need to be careful, he said. There was a man in a gray car yesterday. He asked where your sister lived. What man? I asked, my voice shaking. I don't know his name, but he looked serious, not friendly. My stomach turned cold. Ellie never had enemies. She was kind to everyone. Why would a stranger be looking for her? I decided to check her room for answers. Under her bed, I found an old notebook. Inside, there were pages of writing I had never seen before. She had written about a job offer from a company in the city, a company that promised her money to test a new kind of paint, one that glowed in the dark. She wrote that something felt wrong about the offer. She was scared, but she needed the money for her art shop dream.
You are not going to believe what I found next. On the last page, she had written a name, David Cole. Under it, she wrote 3 words. He is dangerous. My hands were shaking as I read those words again and again. I ran outside, notebook in hand. Rain poured down harder now. I needed to find this David Cole before it was too late. Halfway down the street, a car slowed beside me. A gray car. My heart pounded hard against my chest. The window rolled down. A man stared at me with cold eyes. You're Ellie's sister, he said. It was not a question. Where is she? I shouted. He smiled, but it was not warm. She made a choice. Now she must live with it. The car sped away before I could say another word. I stood there, soaked and shaking, staring into the empty street. My sister's warning echoed in my mind. He is dangerous. Everything I thought I knew about that night was wrong. This was never a simple family fight. Someone had taken my sister, and I had no idea how to save her. I ran straight to the police station, notebook in hand. Officer Reyes listened carefully as I explained everything. The gray car, the strange man, the name David Cole. Reyes's face changed when he heard the name. "We have heard about him before," he said. "He runs a fake company. He tricks young people with false job offers." Within hours, the police tracked the gray car to an old warehouse outside town. My hands were cold with fear as we drove there together. Inside the warehouse, we found Ellie sitting alone in a small room. Her eyes were tired, but she was alive. She had refused to sign papers giving the company rights to her artwork. That refusal had angered David Cole. When she saw me, she did not run to hug me right away. She just looked at me, quiet and unsure. "I'm sorry," I said, my voice breaking. "I should have listened to you that night." Tears filled her eyes. "I was scared to tell you the truth. I thought you would laugh at my dream again." I realized something painful in that moment. My careless words had pushed her away when she needed me most. Fear of judgment had kept her silent, and that silence had almost cost her everything. We drove home together in silence, but it was a different kind of silence now. Not angry, just healing. In the days that followed, Ellie was quieter than before, but she was also stronger. She began painting again, small stones with bright flowers, just like she used to. This time, I sat beside her and watched. "I still want to open my art shop," she said one evening. "I know," I answered, "and I will help you make it happen." Her smile was small, but real. Our mother cried when she heard the full story. Our father hugged Ellie tightly, not saying a word, because some feelings need no words at all. I learned something important through all of this. Sometimes the people closest to us carry fears we never see. A little more patience, a little more kindness, can change everything. But the story does not end here. There is one more thing you need to know. David Cole was arrested that same week, but police say he was part of something much bigger, a group tricking young artists across many towns. Ellie agreed to speak to investigators, hoping her story could protect others. She was scared, but for the first time, she did not feel alone. As I watched her walk into the police station, brave and steady, I wondered how different our lives would be if I had simply listened to her that night, instead of telling her to go away. I once told my sister to go away. Today, I never want her far from me again. That night taught me something I will never forget. Words spoken in anger can push away the people we love most. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is simply listen. Have you ever said something you deeply regretted to someone you love? If this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more real-life stories told in slow English. New stories every single week. Tell me in the comments below, have you ever had a moment like Sara's, where silence or anger almost cost you someone important? Ellie is safe now. Her art shop is opening next spring, and I will be right there beside her. Next time, I will share a story about trust, a story that will surprise you in ways you do not expect. Thank you so much for watching until the very end.
Keep practicing your English. Keep listening slowly. And keep believing in second chances. See you in the next story.